I really wanted this pay-per-view to be really successful. I even thought to myself, this pay-per-view is going to do about 300 to 400,000 pay-per-view buys. Well, it's sad to say that the number that is floating around for Kovalev versus Ward is under 200,000 pay-per-view buys. About 170,000 pay-per-view buys is what's being floated around. And if you do 64.99 plus 170K, assuming that everyone brought in high definition, but you have to add that plus minus margin. The pay-per-view, as far as pay-per-view sales is concerned, did about $11 million. Factor in ticket sales, they didn't sell out. They did about 13,000 tickets. Factor in about 4 million right there or so, maybe give or take. You have a total pot of about 15 million. Andre Ward received 5 million. Sergey Kovalev received 2 million. We don't know if these guys are getting any pay-per-view buys or whatever the case may be. There was a lot of controversy involving Virgil Hunter's speech during the final press conference, basically questioning, why is my fighter getting $5 million? And he's the challenger, but the champion who has 3 belts is only getting 2. So, I'm not going to get into all the details of what he said because we talked about it all. But if you don't know, I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. All the links to my social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, are right down below in the description box. Also, please go down below and click the link for the app that says TstreeT app. I'm TstreeT. It's not my app. I'm sponsored by the app. It's called FireFan. It's a sports app. They're slowly rolling out sports. They launched with football. Then they're going to go with basketball, NCAA, and then eventually they're going to get to boxing. But let's get to the pay-per-view. So there is a rematch clause. Kathy Duva said, the promoter of Sergey Kovalev, said that the rematch can happen as early as April, unless both sides agree to an interim bout. I said, listen, we can't have no interim bout. We can't mess this up. We can't afford for Andre Ward, his injury-prone ass, to get injured. We can't afford for Kovalev to lose or anything to happen. These guys need to fight each other next. Also, the fact that there's 3 belts on the line, mandatories are going to have to come soon. So I said that after the fight, they should take the Thanksgiving break off, and then today, Monday, November the 28th, 2016, they need to start negotiating, preliminary talks, something. Because if the rematch doesn't happen, somebody's going to take the blame for it. It has to happen. I had Andre Ward winning, but he didn't win clearly and decisively. The people who had Kovalev winning, he didn't win clearly or decisively. I understand that people are saying that I'm in the minority by saying Andre Ward won. But no, I'm not. I didn't pick him to win because he was black. I didn't say he just was winning because I thought that, he really... I didn't say that I felt he won because I said, I'm just going to give it to him. I really thought that he did some things, to win. I posted my scorecard on my Instagram. I even watched the fight with about 60, 70 people on my Facebook and scored each round, rewinding and fast-forwarding in 4K and explaining why I scored each round the way I scored it. I'm sorry I couldn't do it on YouTube. So, as Max Kellerman said, it is not impossible to see how Andre Ward won. But many gave it to Kovalev. And depending on what you were looking for, depending on what the judges were looking for, once again, it's not impossible to see how Andre Ward won. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. Put your emotions aside. Go back and watch the fight again. Stand on your head. Turn the commentating off. Watch in black and white. It's just my personal opinion, but let's keep to the news. It's just, this was a fight that I really feel that all boxing fans should have purchased. I was very, very highly upset and aggravated and annoyed when I saw that there were people who call themselves boxing fans not buying the fight. Or people who want to talk about the politics and what boxers make and what they don't make and who's not fighting who and what, but yet you don't support the sport. You even have scumbag media members, that say that they don't buy fights. It's like you make money off the sport, but you don't buy them. I'm not talking about this fight in general. I'm talking about fights in the past. It makes no sense. That's why to combat the naysayers, I make sure I post every single time I buy a fight. And then just because unless somebody went and says some scumbag shit and says, well, you know, you can just order the fight and get your money back, I post my cable bills. Because that's how serious this is to me. I really wanted this fight to be successful. And I try to think of what could they have done better. And I think of Jay-Z. Where were you, Jay? Where were you, Hove? Come on. You know, you should have been there. You should have took some photos or some photo ops with what Andre wore. What's going on? Is there something we don't know about? Is there something we don't know about? Why wasn't he there? You know? 170K, they said that if they do, I remember hearing Kathy Duva say that if it did 300K, that would be a huge success. It's no secret that pay-per-view in the United States is dying. I understand that over in the UK, their pay-per-views on Sky Sports box office cost about $30 less than ours over here, $30 to $40 less than ours over here in the States, but they can't decrease the ticket prices. I mean, they can't decrease the pay-per-view price because it's inflation. Remember, we were paying $50 for pay-per-views back in 1999. You know, so we got to understand that if the regular pay-per-view runs $64.99, $74.99, Maypac was $100, but that was a different situation. But it's a shame now because I'm now wondering how does going forward these numbers affect the rematch? You see what I'm saying? Will they try to say, okay, we're going to take interim fights to build up the buzz for the rematch that can happen in September or some shit like that? No, get this rematch out of the way now. Strike while the iron is hot. Strike while the iron is hot. So, with the 11 million, give or take, from pay-per-view sales in the United States, from the ticket sales, give or take about $4 to $6 million, that's pushing it. Give or take how much ever money they got from overseas broadcasts. Because remember, who showed this fight? Was it Sky or was it Box Nation? I believe it was Sky. They had to get some money from them for broadcasting. They had to get some money from for a quote unquote the Russian TV money that Kovalev is supposed to be getting. Still, when you factor in, you know, I'm disappointed. I really wanted this pay-per-view to be successful. But of course, no numbers are ever official. If you don't understand that, no pay-per-view numbers are ever official unless it's successful. And when it's successful, that's when they release a press release and tell you what the numbers are. So this 170K is going to be denied. You may hear some people say it only did 150K. You know, you're going to hear people saying all kind of crazy shit. You're going to hear some people say, well, you know, we did much better than that. You know? You're going to hear, but 170K, it's, you know. And also, pay-per-view numbers, also, they usually come out after the replay. They usually come out that week after, you know, going into that next week after the fight. Not during the fight week because they're so-called still tallying up the numbers. But if 170K is true, it won't never be confirmed. Kathy Duva of Main Events won't confirm it. Rock Nation won't confirm it. And that goes to lead you to believe even more that it's true. Please subscribe. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. All the links to my social media are right down below in the description box. And please make sure you register for the app. All the revenue that's generated from the app is going to go directly to the channel, 100%. So the more people download the app, the more people register for the app, the more we're going to be able to do. And I stop fucking losing money every month doing this YouTube shit. Literally, I lose money. Please subscribe.